We did chapter 8. There are 6 different lessons. The FDI in the world economy. Number 2 is the theories of foreign direct investment. Number 3 is the political ideology in foreign direct investment. 4 is the benefits and costs of the FDI. Number 5 is the government policy instruments and FDI. And number 6 is the 360 managerial implications. The lesson 1 is the main things are just they talk about the foreign direct investment in the world economy is like it shows how like the stock and the FDI and the inflow and the outflow of like how much each country spends and like what their money, like how much money like the US spends. I think it was like almost 5-6 billion a year, and like China they spend a couple million. So it just talks about the how much each nation like really spends on their nation. 2 is obviously theories in foreign direct investment. Talks about the limitations of exporting. So it kind of talks about how each country, when they export things in, like now obviously America, we have all these tariffs, so all these companies bringing stuff over, they have to pay this extra money for that, and how they can find ways to kind of get around that. Obviously, I don't think there will be much ways to get around it. And also they talk about the limitation of licensing. The 3 real problems are giving away their valuable technology, as like other countries can get hold of certain things and like can use that against them. Number 2 is they don't get full control of like their product, and that could kind of screw some people, as like some companies get these things but they don't have 100% control. And the capability often not amounting to the licensing, as like some people or some like nations might not fully like apply to that rule. The 3rd lesson is the radical view, and they talk about the MNE, which is the multinational enterprise, and how like countries use that. It also talks about the free market view and shifting ideology, and I think the free market view is like kind of used for every country, as like everybody gets a view of that because it's an open market. It's free, but you still have to pay for things. It's just open to all the nations. Number 4 is the benefits and costs of FDI. It talks about the main 4 things, like the resource transform effect, the employee effects, balance of payment effect, and the adverse effects on competition, and then the balance of payment. And that just all talks about like certain ways they can be effective on their employees so that they that they like can make their employees happy. 5 is the government policy instruments and FDI encouraging outward, FDI restrictions outwards. And it talks about like the outward, the good and bad of like the encouraging the outward and then the inward. And it also talks about the restrictions on the inward and the outward. And then 8.6 is the 360 managerial implication. It just talks about how theories of FDI works and everything.
In this chapter, we learn how to recognize current trends regarding FDI, explain the 3 different theories of FDI, how political ideology shapes a government's attitudes towards FDI. We learn the benefits and cost of FDI to home and the host countries. We were able to explain the range of policy instruments that governments use to influence FDI. And we learn how to recognize the implications for managers of the theory and government policies associated with FDI. It's important to know this so you can understand FDI and how it works, in addition to knowing the laws regarding business and FDI in foreign countries.
FDI drives economic growth by providing capital, advanced technology, and management expertise that may not be available locally. It enhances industrial productivity, fosters competition, and helps balance trade deficits by increasing exports and reducing reliance on imports. However, concerns arise over capital outflows, economic dependence, and national sovereignty. From a macroeconomic perspective, FDI strengthens globalization and economic interdependence, as seen in countries like China and South Korea. While businesses benefit from market expansion and organization gains, host nations must implement strategic policies to maximize FDI's advantages while reducing risk like capital flight. To ensure sustainable benefits, policymakers should direct FDI towards key sectors such as technology, infrastructures, and sustainable industries. Overall, FDI remains a crucial tool for economic development, but careful management is necessary to balance growth with national interests.